course. You could make a great Bengali shukto or make a wonderful avial and porial from the south with the kind of things that you source. Tell us a little more about it.
Yes, absolutely. It's actually, I can't take credit for this idea. It's not mine. I've been seeing it abroad for a long time. The farm to fork, as they say in the US, and farm to table, as they say in Europe, has been a concept which has come about with people being more aware of where their produce comes from. Sometimes the joke is that you even know the name of the cow, you know, what the lettuce is called. So it's become something which it is trendy, but it's also a responsibility, and people who really need to know that their produce is either organic or not, but more than most times that it's local. Local has become very in abroad, that people want things which are within 30-mile, grown within a 30-mile radius, so that it's fresh, even if it's not organic. If it's organic, fine, but the point of having an organic product that is 5,000 miles away really defeats the purpose of organic. So that is something that I've believed in for many years, and something which I thought finally I would take the risk and start about a year ago. So we started farmers markets in Pune, where I live, because we thought the risk is minimum, and if it goes belly up, I haven't lost too much. And we floated this out in the market and said, whoever wants to come up with stalls producing anything in the area that is natural. Obviously, we don't want chemical fertilized fruit from nearby, but anything that's natural. We didn't say it had to be organic. And the response has actually been phenomenal, which teaches me, one, there is a need for this. We've stretched it a little bit to also things like bath and body products and care, because there are a lot of people now who are doing fantastic bath and body care products. There are all sorts of, we had a designer last week when we had the farm in Pune who was actually doing grow boxes. That is actually, he's called, I think, Easy Grow, where you can do it, it's with, I think, vermiculture and cocoa peat. So it has no soil that can actually get contaminated or can have insects. So you've got a completely hydroponic kind of system which can't get insects and is organic, and it's in these plastic boxes where you also put a little bit of water on the side. So it's great, you know, so people were buying those. The market is stretched from 800 people on a Sunday to about 4,500 now on a Sunday. We have them once a month. And we have all sorts of people coming to buy produce. We also have restaurants there, and we have wineries, and because I do think wineries are part of what we do. So it becomes a day out, and I think you have to do that. You can't just have it very stoically that people come and they buy their produce and they go home very sadly. So you've got to entertain them as well. But yes, it's definitely something which is started and continuing. And even if it's niche, 4,500 people, I think is quite a nice niche to have. So I don't think it's just a fad. I think health is something which people are. There is a significant niche that are interested. And as we know, significant in India means a lot of people.
Well, to go from healthy food to street food, because that's what you're going to taste downstairs, a lot of street food. And there's this very wonderful street food which you get all over the country again, unifying the country. You call it puchka in some places, you call it pani puri in other places, you call it golgappa in various other places. And you're talking about healthy food, but I want to talk about unhealthy food. Things that, you know, you love it when it's off the street. I'm not sure it's going to taste very good, I know, I can assure you downstairs because I have had it myself. But still, there's that something extra, that little extra grime that makes these things better, does it? I don't know. I'm talking to a chef from the Taj, and he's going to be angry with me about this.
I would like to be in your shoes, Sujan, on this one.
I know. So you better tell me about this. But just about the different tastes of this particular item, I think it's a fantastic snack, isn't it? You know, you can eat and drink it. So tell us, chef.
See, street food is all about being with your friends. Okay, now you have to understand when you go to a restaurant, you with your family or a business purpose, or you definitely with some celebrations. But when you talk about a street food, going there, you always go for the fun and having something. Especially in India, you understand the sanitation and the hygiene level of the street foods you're expecting. So your mind is always been already ready to accept that kind of a standard. But street food is great things to unite over there. And I must tell you one of my experiences when I was in Indore. I don't know how many places people here know about something called Sarafa. It's a very unique thing in Indore called Sarafa, where the ornaments market, the main market after 10 o'clock, sunset shuts down, and the street food starts over there from 10 to 1 o'clock in the night. When the city sleeps, you can drive down over there, roads are empty, park your car, and go to the Sarafas and have all your street food throughout the night, and you can come back. It's a beautiful place. You can have different dahi vadas and puchkas and rolls and chaats and lassis in Indore. Oh, it's a beautiful gathering, and people all across the city, they skip their dinner on the weekends and you park your car. Parking is not an issue, and then you go down and enjoy till 1 o'clock and come back and have a late Sunday morning, So that's the thing. So the street food is over there, whether it's the Chandni Chowk in Delhi or it's that main road of MG Road of Jaipur, or whether it is in Chowpatty in Mumbai or in Chennai, that beach, whatever you call it, it's always there, and there is always a similarity. The beauty of the same thing like fuchka, Delhi, they make it with dahi, and the pani is different. In Calcutta, the pani is a little sweeter. That's different. Bombay, it's different. Coming to Jhalmuri is also, it is totally different in Calcutta. It's different, a little more saucier in Delhi. Mumbai, vada pav is different here in Mumbai. And you exactly know what to eat in which city. You don't expect to ask for something like Calcutta's street food when you go to Delhi. You know exactly what you are specialized. And as a chef, you can't compare something with a 5-star, or somebody is a creative guy who's creating beautiful food. Even the guy who's standing on the streets and making those amazing food are great chefs. They have so much of difficulty, don't have the manpower. Only thing they do their mise en place starts in the morning. They don't have a fridge. They make it fresh, they sell it off, and at the end of the day, they are happy. Again, the next day morning, they do. Here in the 5-star or any other hotels, you have fridges, always boiled potatoes ready. Maybe that's the thing, it's, everything is so fresh in the street food, and you make it on the spot. Even the tomatoes they chop or the chilies they chop, maybe half an hour every 10 minutes they do. And every street food have their own special traditional masalas, which you'll definitely find into that particular guy who is so expert in that. As I was talking about Indore, there was a guy who makes his dahi vada who uses 5 different spices. And I think someone has done a shoot on him also. And he uses 5 fingers. Not every fingers of different spices. He put it like this and a sprinkle on top of it. It's beautiful, He has put photograph in his shops with all the celebrities of Bombay and Mumbai and all. Everybody's came to see how he makes the dahi vada. It's an art. Similarly, some kind of egg roll or something like that. So someone is very traditional. When you go to a particular shop for the prawn cutlet, you all know in North Calcutta or towards Central Calcutta, that gentleman only brings prawn cutlets for 2 hours or 2.5 hours. Everything gets sold off. So it's a family traditions, and they know the recipe. They will not tell you the recipes, what is their exactly recipes, and they're maintaining it. Street food is definitely very fresh, because you must go to that street particular vendor where he is popular. And there's a long queue out there and everything. If you're the new street food, don't try there. You must always wait for some street food vendor who's already been very popular. People is going there, not falling sick, sure assured there, and then you go there. Because the movement of the food is very fast, and the freshness.
Excuse me.
That's wonderful. Somebody wanted to ask?
Yeah, I would like to... taking off from what you said, Mrs. On puchkas, you see, I'm one of those journalists who can't afford 5-star all the time unless we are invited in a press meet or something, you see. So what we do is, you see, we do try to discover the best of the street food. Street food has its ups and downs, the variety, the good and the bad and the worst. So we try to discover the best. Now, I would like to ask the chef of Taj Bengal that when we speak of unification, in Taj Bengal, I've witnessed that you have a variety of coffee flavors, you see. Coffee, tea, all that is But do you have a variety of puchkas? Do you have a variety of the other street foods which are in different parts of India?
See, I'll tell you, we do a lot of experiments on fuchkas also. Fuchka, the experiments is that fuchkas has got 2-3 components. One is the shell, one is the water, one is the filling if you're giving it dry. That's it. You know, I divide it in a way scientifically. The shell can be with the maida one. Calcutta one prefers the little brownish one. Delhi one is a smaller one and with the suji.
I'm impressed by your knowledge, but do you have it there in the Taj Bengal?
Yes, it's there. And we make different kinds of water. Different kind of water. We don't have it in our menu, but we generally serve it in our high tea and the weddings and other segments. When you give a street food theme, we make different waters. You know, what different waters means? Something like Imli pani. We can do with a lassi. We can do it with a grapefruit juices.
Do you have a spread like the coffee bar and the chai bar and all?
Yes.
Do you have a regular spread for international and the local?
No, not on a regular restaurants out there.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to know. Thank you very much.
Thank you for asking, and thanks, Chef, that you have this variety. In fact, at Jhaal Farezi, it's very interesting because they have something, you see something like this. So they have puchkas with the water, 5 different types of water, different colors, pomegranate water and various others. And you can get that grape and whatnot. Yes, and even the puchka shells are with semolina and various other things. So you'll get that, you'll get a taste of that downstairs, and it's there all the time regularly. They're trying to promote a lot of street food because a lot of people may not want to actually have the real actual street food, but you get a pretty good replication, let's say, of street food and various types here, right downstairs at Jhaal Farezi.
Yeah, coming back to that, sorry ma'am, you know, even you can do it we also do in our cocktail parties where you can give your puchka water in different shot glasses. And on top of the shot glasses, you put the puchka with the filling. So you pick up the puchkas and have like the shot glasses and you finish it off.
It looks very elegant.
It looks very
wonderful.
Elegant. Absolutely.
Thanks, Sujan. To go on to another so-called unifying factor, this thing called Indian-Chinese, Chinese-Indian, whatever it is. It's
known as Sino-Ludhianvi cuisine.
Come again.
Sino-Ludhianvi cuisine, it's known as.
Sino-Ludhianvi cuisine. So, and there's another thing, another aberration that we have in India called Mongolian food. In Mongolia, they'd be absolutely horrified.
There's hardly any vegetation there.
Yeah, there's no vegetation there. There's only meat. There's sheep and there's camels and all these other animals. And that's all they eat. So what is this Mongolian food and this Indo-Chinese, this Ludhianvi?
Well, Chef will be able to tell you. The famous one is Manchurian, which Nelson from Bombay, Nelson Wang, says he discovered. But I met a little man, I must tell you, from this club called the NSCI. And little Sindhi gentleman who says he discovered it. And one day he had a vegetarian guest, I think in the 60s, who wanted something Chinese, but they wanted it to look Indian. So he made a bhaji, he made a Sindhi bhajia, and a style bhajia, and he put soya and green chilies with corn flour. And he created, he says, very proudly, and he didn't know what to call it. So he was looking in a book, and he literally looked at the map of China, closed his eyes and went like this, and it was Manchuria. So I think Manchuria, like Mongolia, I don't know how many people live there and what the vegetation is and whether they have soya sauce at all. So these are things that are, listen, it's not just India. Where is, I don't know, there are all sorts of dishes in the world that are created from not necessarily chefs. Chicken Kiev does not come from Kiev. It comes from some chef who created it in America with that butter in it. So I don't think, hamburger doesn't come from Hamburg, exactly. So I don't think, it's really, you can't blame us or Indians, or I think everybody does it. They want a nice name for something, and they put it on. I don't think any Indian Chinese restaurant really claims to be authentic. It's okay. It's what, Veer Sanghvi has written on this ad nauseum about the gravy and the rice. And I think everybody, changes things slightly. So to suit the country. Chinese food in England is completely bland. It's not at all like Chinese either. So, these are things we have to take in our stride, no?
Just to add on, see, I'll tell you the history of Mongolian, which is basically very popular in Calcutta, especially in the catering segments. Uh, it is basically a wokari, what we generally the hotels do. It's a wokari, or you can call it a star fries. It's better that. And see, I will not blame the people out there. Definitely, whenever the city we did I think some hotel chain has brought Mongolia festival 10 years back into the city, and the city demands a vegetarian version of it, created it. I must blame the chefs to give it a name, that Mongolian counter, because they should have given the name to the wokari or a star fries counter. And definitely quickly also in Taj Bengal we have rectified our terminology and call it a wokari or a star fry. It's basically you come and choose your vegetables, and there are assortments of sauces. The chef is going to make it over there in front of you. Coming back to the popularity of the Chinese food, if you see, after the independence, the British food was not very popular except the Calcutta snackery kind of thing. The option to the Indian people of international cuisine was very limited. After the Chinese were there, the huge settlement came and settled in Calcutta. We all know the history. Why this is popular again, it's a complete kind of a meal, and it's a quick meal. The assortments of the noodles with the meats or the vegetables tossed up with some chilies, which actually this, with the palate for the Indian people gives a kind of a complement which you can quickly finish it off. And it's not very expensive when you started in Tangra basically, and it started off, and then it is catch on to the entire nation. The beauty of it is that it can be made quickly. It is hot. It is made in front of you. It is kind of again coming back to the street food kind of thing. If you talk about this Chinese food which is popular, it is that only 20 items which is popular, which is maybe a Hakka noodles, or some Manchurian as she mentioned, or some amount of chili chicken or something like that. My Chinese master chef never came across this kind of dishes in life, and whenever we tell him to make it, he said no, this is not Chinese food. Some kind of influence of Szechuan food which is brought in, and Taj has got the Szechuan food into India, and we have opened up Golden Dragon in way back in 1970. We got the chefs gone there. That time Chef Arvind Saraswat and Chef Aurora, they went there and they got the Chinese food into India. Now we are seeing the second or third level of different kind of Chinese food which has been brought by a different companies. But there are two kind of Chinese food which is available in India. One is the 5-star top-end Chinese food, which is lighter, which is with the different flavors and lighter flavors and very fresh and kind of authentic ingredients. Another Chinese food which is popularly available all across the city, which is basically a mixture of tomato ketchup, chili sauce, soya sauce, chili paste with the meats and the vegetables, which is locally available, noodles. As you rightly said, on the streets, on the spot. Most of you must agree with me that each and every 10 feet in Durga Puja, you will get a roll and you get a chow mein. Everybody. I have seen people in my colony who have never touched food over there. All the people are unemployed. They pull monies together and they make it on tawa. It's a unique thing, So now it's a combination of Chinese and the Mongolians coming to the tawa and making chow mein on the tawa. And on Saturday, Sunday, if you go to any of the suburbs, you see the people are ordering those foods and not having dinner. That's some kind of a mix of meats.
What about
basically.
Italian food? That's now all over. The pizza has now become chicken tikka pizza.
And of course, a pizza is pronounced differently. Like, you don't ask for a pizza because no one will understand. You make a pizza. So, and then it's got, as you say, chicken tikka pizza and everything else, all the toppings. So that again,
it's a roti. It's basically a roti, right?
So what makes a child from, say, Palghat or from Paikpara or from wherever it is want to have a pasta rather than have Indian food? What is it that's driving them?
That's a very good question, and I think that's very sad. They see it on the television.
Yes.
And then the big companies make it in packets now, and they want to change. So they make their poor mother make pasta or Mexican or whatever.
So is it because of what they're seeing the ads on television,
I think so,
which are showing them how to make all these wonderful quick dishes for the kids? Which started with 2-minute noodles and then went on to the various
pastas. It's like
pastas.
fashion. I think it's like fashion. It starts with the designers and then it goes to the street level. And similarly with food, it starts with MasterChef, Australia or whatever, and then it permeates down, and then you find everybody doing it in packets.
What about something like, why can't we market the simple kati roll internationally and replace the hamburger with it, or hamburger as the French would call it. Why?
I'd love to know
isn't it-
why.
Why don't you do it? Why don't you do it?
See, kathi roll, again, it's a beautiful dish. See, it is also available, ma'am. It can be made popular because it's also available in different forms in different parts of the world. We just call it as, corn tortillas wrapped it, it's called enchiladas or some kind of a roll. So again, the combination of a bread with the meats or the vegetable filling and rolled up and eaten all over the world. Whether it's been some kind of a panini, they use it a bread, or sometimes in Mexico they use different wraps or rolls. In China also they make different pancakes and they roll it. Now the kathi roll is unique, and I think if you we can sell it internationally if we can make it well and sell it in a nice selling point. Again, it has to be sold not in a fine restaurant, it has to be sold in a street food manner, where it's street food manner, it can be a great meal on the go. It has to be nicely packaged once. People driving in US and other places, they love long driving, so you can sell it as a packed kathi rolls with some mint chutneys or tamarind chutneys or whatever. It's a lovely meat, and you have to have the options. It's beautiful. It's a paratha or the breads rolled up with some kind of a chicken tikka. Amazing food.
Must it be chicken? Can't it be all other kinds of meats? Wonderful.
It can be anything, I would imagine. I think you just need someone clever to do it and who understands scale.
You can have turkey, you can have